Here's something wild. Espresso machines were invented because Italians in 1901 were basically fed up with waiting in line for their morning coffee. That impatience literally revolutionized how we drink coffee today.
You know what's fascinating about that? It went from being this rush invention to something people spend years perfecting down to the decimal point.
And that's really the heart of what makes espresso so interesting. It's this perfect intersection of necessity and engineering that created something entirely new in coffee brewing.
So let's talk about this evolution because I think people would be surprised to learn that what we call espresso today isn't what it started as.
Well, it all begins with Luigi Bezzera's 1901 patent. He created the first machine that used pressure and a portafilter setup to make single servings quickly. But the real game changer came with Gaggia in 1938.
That's when crema entered the picture, right? Which is kind of mind-blowing when you think about how obsessed people are with crema now.
Exactly. Gaggia's innovation with the lever machine created what we now consider modern espresso. Before that, nobody was even thinking about crema as part of the experience.
Let's clear up something that drives me crazy. This whole espresso roast means dark roast myth. What's really going on there?
So here's the thing. Espresso roast isn't about darkness, it's about development. Think of it like tuning a car for a specific kind of racing. You're optimizing the coffee for extraction under intense pressure in about 25 to 30 seconds.
That makes so much more sense than just make it darker. You're actually engineering the roast for a specific purpose.
And what's fascinating is how precise that engineering has become. We're talking about controlling temperature curves within a few degrees, timing development phases to the second, all to get optimal extraction under pressure.
Speaking of precision, can we demystify these numbers people always talk about with espresso? The ratios and timing that seem to terrify beginners?
Let's break it down simply. You're basically looking at three key numbers: dose, how much coffee you put in; yield, how much espresso comes out; and time. A good starting point is what we call a 1-to-2 ratio, like 18 grams of coffee giving you 36 grams of espresso in about 25 to 30 seconds.
That doesn't sound nearly as complicated as some people make it out to be.
Because it's not. The complexity comes from fine-tuning based on taste. If your shot tastes sour, you might need more extraction. If it's bitter, maybe less. The numbers are just guardrails to help you get in the ballpark.
You know what else people get wrong? This idea that espresso blends are somehow inferior to single origins.
Oh man, that's such a harmful myth. Blending for espresso is actually incredibly sophisticated. You're building a flavor profile that needs to work both as straight espresso and in milk drinks. Plus, stay consistent across seasonal changes in coffee availability.
It's like being a master chef who has to make the same exact dish taste identical every single day, even when the ingredients change with the seasons.
And let's talk about milk drinks, because that's a huge factor in espresso roast development. A coffee that tastes amazing as pour-over might completely disappear in a latte. You need that structure and intensity to punch through.
How do roasters actually achieve that? What's the process like?
It's this fascinating balance of development time, temperature control, and understanding how different origins will contribute to the final profile. You're looking for enough caramelization to provide sweetness and body, but not so much that you lose the coffee's character.
That's really what separates specialty coffee from commodity coffee, isn't it? That level of intentional development?
Absolutely right. And here's what's really cool. All this precision and development still traces back to those impatient Italians who just wanted their coffee faster. We've taken their necessity and turned it into this incredible art form.
Though I think we should remind people that they don't need to get lost in all the technical details to make good espresso.
That's such an important point. Start with those basic numbers we talked about, understand that grind size is your main control, and adjust based on taste. The science is there if you want to dive deeper, but it's not required for making delicious coffee.
And remember, there's no coffee police coming to arrest you if you brew your espresso roast as drip coffee.
Though I would suggest warning people first, espresso roasts tend to be more intense when brewed as drip. It's like serving someone a strong imperial stout when they're expecting a light lager. Not wrong, just different.
That's really what it all comes down to, isn't it? Understanding the intention behind the roast, while remembering there are no absolute rules.
Exactly. Espresso is this beautiful combination of precision and flexibility. You can make it as simple or as complex as you want, but at the end of the day, it's still just about making delicious coffee, preferably without waiting in line for hours like those Italians in 1901.